What's good, everyone? OJ here. Welcome back to another video. Today we've got a bunch of great topics. We're going to be going over Super Mario Bros. Wonder, Nintendo Switch 2 Edition, plus meet up in Bella Bell Park. Some surprising things with this game. In addition to Warframe, we've got an update on that game for the Nintendo Switch 2 and Resident Evil Code Veronica Remake. But before we get into any of that, we are giving away a Nintendo Switch 2 once we hit 150,000 subscribers. So if you're not subscribed yet and you want to have a chance to win that Nintendo Switch 2 worldwide giveaway here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, drop a comment below, hit the like and the notification bell. We're also giving away a $50 eShop card at the end of this month randomly, and we're having new giveaways every single month. So hit that sub button and let's get right into this. So let's start off with Super Mario Bros. Wonder Nintendo Switch 2 Edition plus Meetup in Bella Bell Park, which is definitely one of the longest names ever for a game that Nintendo's put out. So shout out to my man Stealth. He actually put up some new information apparently that Nintendo revealed, and it does seem like this game could have a doubling of the frame rate on the Switch 2 compared to what we got before, and it does seem like this game is packed full of new types of content. We did get a confirmed price as well, which I think is good and bad depending on how you look at it. So we're going to talk about a lot of things with this game. Now, it does have up to 4K resolution when docked, and it's probably going to be a native 1080p when portable. If you compare that to the original game definitely was 720p undocked or portable mode, and I think 1080p or up to 1080p when docked on the Nintendo Switch 1. So it looked great. The art style was fantastic, but you can definitely see a little bit of those jaggies when you put it on a really big TV. Now with the 4K resolution when docked, that's going to smooth it out. And if you've noticed, if you've watched the gameplay, it looks so shiny and nice and smooth across it. So there's definitely a noticeable improvement there. Now I 100%ed Super Mario Bros. Wonder on the Nintendo Switch 1, and I'm telling you, I really disliked the last part of that. The last levels for that was crazy, but it was definitely worth it because it was a lot of fun. So I'm thinking about starting up a fresh save file here and playing through the game again. It was a joy to play through. It is a really fun game, but this 4K resolution is definitely going to be nice for those who like to play docked and on a big TV. Now, another thing here is that it says smoother frame rates. Now, this is the one that kind of gets me okay, well, wait a minute, smoother frame rates? The game already runs at a very smooth 60 frames per second. I don't think there was many drops or any drops at all. Now, I could be wrong on that. I don't remember the Digital Foundry breakdown on this game because it's going on 3 years ago now, and it came out at the end of 2023, so I don't remember everything when it comes to what they said from a technical aspect with this game frame rate wise, but from what I played, I don't recall there ever being any type of frame rate drops at all. Maybe in multiplayer a bit, but for the most part it was a smooth locked 60 FPS. So this has me speculating at this point now. I can't say that it's 100%, but the speculation could be they are going to do 120 FPS. Now, Nintendo still hasn't done 120 FPS on any Nintendo Switch 2 Edition that I know about. There are 120 FPS games on the Switch 2, but there's not anything from a first-party standpoint that I can call off the top of my head. Maybe there is. You guys can let me know in the comment section. But all of the Switch 2 Editions like Zelda and like Kirby and the Super Mario Party Jamboree, all of those are just 60. They don't bump them up to 120. And even with Animal Crossing, that one just stayed at 30, but I think that's due to the code of the animations and how they did things in that game. So it doesn't look like you're just speeding up the animation. So I'm guessing that's the situation there. But for the most part, all the Switch 2 Edition stuff, or even the free updates that they have, they're just 60 FPS. They lock them in, or they bump them up from 30 to 60. So we'll see if the smoother frame rates means 120 FPS mode. I'm not 100% sure. I'm like 50-50 now at this point. Now, another thing that I really like here too is faster load times. Now, I don't think the game was bad originally on load times, but faster load times are always better, and that's a good thing. That's just what you want to see. You want to see faster load times to get into the games faster, get into your save file faster, get into all the different areas faster. That's just better overall. So very good when it comes from the technical perspective so far. We'll get more information, and as we get more information, we'll talk about it here. but they've also revealed a couple other things that I really like. There does seem to be like a challenge level type of thing, the Toad Brigade, and there might even be some adjustments how badges are used to where you can use potentially 2 abilities or more at a time based off of some stuff that people are talking about online. So I do think that it's pretty cool. There could be some stuff that they do with the Toad Brigade that allows you to manipulate the badges and how those work. When it comes to the Super Mario Bros. Wonder Nintendo Switch 2 Edition plus the meetup in Bella Bell Park, you're going to get a revised, or more like you're going to get the Koopalings being added in and maybe some new types of boss battles. You also get the Toad Brigade, which is essentially a challenge mode overall. You're going to get a ton of new mini games for multiplayer and enhancements to the online multiplayer, making more players possible. You're going to get the 4K resolution, better frame rates and load times. This might be the best Nintendo Switch 2 edition yet. Based off of just a pure content standpoint, this seems like this is the best one out of all the ones that we've gotten. It seems like it adds the most content and is the most feature packed when it comes to what you get, because so far it's been mixed on what people get when it comes to these Switch 2 editions. Some of the stuff has been a little bit wonky, like added in like smartphone compatibility, which is nice but not built into the game with the Legend of Zelda titles. But then you also have some stuff that's like Kirby that's not quite enough content overall. Then the Jamboree stuff that's kind of really weird and awkward how you access it. So it's been a bit of a mixed bag when it comes to Switch 2 editions, but this one does seem like it's going to be the best out of all of them. Now, Nintendo has also confirmed that it's going to be $20 for the upgrade. So while if you already have the game, okay, I paid 20 bucks, I get all this extra content and way better game, okay, awesome. That's really cool that I can do that. But if you don't already have the game and you want the game brand new on the Nintendo Switch 2, that's going to cost you $80. So it gives the sticker shock, or it gives the little like, oh man, an $80 game, although it is the base game plus all of the extra DLC. It's like buying like the Ultimate Edition or something. I still wish that Nintendo split that up to where you can get the 4K update, or you can get the upgrade without having to buy the extra content if you don't want it. I don't like that they jam it together. But at the same time, like, once again, it's just one of those things to where, for me, from the optics, it doesn't necessarily look great. But is it going to be worth that if you pick it up with all the content that's in here? I mean, this game could last 100+ hours. I mean, if you play the multiplayer and all that, I love the original game. So it could be worth it for some, could not be worth it. But once again, don't like the optics, but it is what it is on that. You can pick it up or not. But it does seem, based off of what they've shown off so far, this is by far the best Switch 2 edition out of all of them. It beats out Kirby, beats out Jamboree, definitely beats out a lot of the ones that we had before, just going based off the content that I'm seeing so far. Now, once we get the game, we'll have to wait and see on that one, but I'm looking forward to seeing exactly how everything plays out, because I think it's going to be a lot of fun, even though I've already played this. But the multiplayer stuff definitely is intriguing, because the multiplayer in the original game's okay, but this one seems to be actually designed around multiplayer modes and everything, whereas the original, not necessarily. It's just kind of there because people complained about no online in New Super Mario Bros. A lot, so they just said, okay, let's just add it in. But here it's actually fleshed out quite well. So what do you guys think about all this? I know that was a lot when it comes to Super Mario Bros. Wonder Switch 2 Edition plus Meetup in Bella Bell Park. Planning on picking it up, planning on waiting to see some of the reviews and stuff. Let me know in the comment section below. All right, we are going to move on to the next topic here, and that is Warframe for the Nintendo Switch 2, because Digital Extremes has confirmed that it's coming, and it's coming soon when it comes to the Switch 2 edition of this game. So here is what to expect with it. You can expect smoother visuals overall, nice bump above the Nintendo Switch 1. You can expect more responsive combat. So when you press that button, it's going to shoot faster, or it's going to jump quicker, or it's going to feel more fluid overall. You can also expect significant improvements to gameplay fidelity when it comes to the game and how you play it and how it looks and how it interacts. Everything should be a lot better with the big bump in power. And you can also expect 1080p, 60 frames per second overall when it comes to the game. So Digital Extremes, they are getting ready for Warframe on the Nintendo Switch 2. And with Nintendo probably having a Nintendo Direct coming up here in February or March, but I'm banking on February, this game could be announced there. Now, one of the things originally with the Nintendo Switch 1, I think this game was announced at a Nintendo Direct. I don't remember for sure, so don't quote me on that. I might put it in here if I can find it. But either way, if they put this game into the next Nintendo Direct, that would be pretty cool. Just to show it off for the first time, let people know all about it. Warframe's been around for a very long time and it's incredibly successful, but they've always found new ways to add in extra content and to not feel like the typical live service game where it's just all about microtransactions. You can play the game and not spend anything, which I don't think I've spent anything on the game where it's just you can just play and enjoy it, but it does get kind of grindy after a certain point to where it's like, okay, like you might have to just buy something with it, but by then you're probably thinking, okay, it's worth it to spend something because you've gotten so many hours of gameplay out of the game. Now, I still feel that Warframe would be incredible if they made a separate game that was actually like a full game and not the whole Warframe microtransaction, constant grinding type of thing. Like if they made like a 20-hour adventure to where it's set and the levels and the story and all of that, and they charge $60 for that, I still think that would be really cool. I wish that they would do that because I think that the gameplay in this game is fantastic. The controls, the weapons, the swords, the guns, all of that stuff is really good. I would just like a standard game with a set amount of weapons and a set amount of different stuff and scenarios and everything put through to where it's not structured like a live service. But once again, it is what it is. This is what they like to do and they're going to keep doing it. But yeah, maybe one of these days we get that. But overall, I still enjoyed my time with Warframe. I think I put 50 to 60 hours into it on the Nintendo Switch 1, and that was like a crustier version of what we're going to be getting here. So expect a big boost overall to Warframe coming soon. We'll see what happens at the next Nintendo Direct and when that's going to launch. So what do you guys think about Warframe and the enhancements coming over? Let me know in the comment section below. And for the next topic, we're going to discuss what Nate the Hate had to say about Resident Evil Code Veronica Remake. It does seem like that game is happening and it's going to be set for 2027. Over on Twitter, Nate the Hate once again talking with fans because he was named Leaker of the Year over on Reddit. And somebody asked about the rumors of Resident Evil Code Veronica and if they are true. And Nate the Hate says, yes, Code Veronica is being remade and deep in development. Target release is the first half of 2027. And he did also answer another question or two about the next Switch 2 focused Direct and what's happening there. And Nate also said, I'll share what I know soon. So that right there, what does that tell you? He'll share what he knows soon. We're at the end of January. Nintendo Directs are usually at the beginning of the year. They're either February or they're March. So he's understanding. He's still learning what's going to happen when it comes to this next Nintendo Direct. And I'm excited for that. Now, I don't think Code Veronica is going to be revealed at this next Nintendo Direct because we still have to get the Resident Evil 7, 8, in addition to Resident Evil Requiem. And then I think that Capcom is probably going to do Resident Evil 2, 3, and 4 Remake as a triple pack on the Nintendo Switch 2. And I think it's going to come out later this year. I think that's the only feasible time that it would make sense. If you're going to do Resident Evil Code Veronica Remake, you really want to put all hands on deck for that, for marketing wise, and you don't want it to kind of interfere with any other game that you're doing. So it makes sense to me to do Resident Evil 7, 8, and 9 right now at the beginning of the year, then at the end of the year, hit us with the triple pack of Resident Evil 2, 3, and 4 Remake, because those games are fantastic, and I think Capcom can make a ton of money off of those games on the Nintendo Switch 2. Now, recently, when it comes to Resident Evil, they did show off Resident Evil 7 and 8 running on the Nintendo Switch 2, and they look and play fantastic. From what I saw, it was great. It was Japanese gameplay footage. They had like a whole like presentation with a number of Capcom staffers playing the game, and it looked sharp and it looked really good. So that RE engine is holding up well on the Nintendo Switch 2. You're going to get pretty much parity with the other versions of the game on the Switch 2, probably better than what's on the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, obviously with those systems, and close to what we see with the Xbox Series and PlayStation 5 based off of what I saw Capcom put out. So definitely a good thing when it comes to Resident Evil. And yeah, Code Veronica, that's a game that people have been asking for them to remake for a long time. I played the game originally on the Dreamcast like decades ago, and I was always kind of spooked out with that game, but it's a phenomenal game. It's so good, and having a full remake of that to retell the Code Veronica story and what happened in that game, that's awesome. Like, it's taken a long time, but it's really good. People want it. It's one of the more niche titles in the series. It was just a really weird time when it comes to the gaming industry and the transition from the 5th generation to 6th generation, Dreamcast, Xbox, PS2, GameCube. So it's great. I can't wait to see what Capcom has for us, and I think that this is going to be a very fun ride in 2026 when it comes to Nintendo Directs, when it comes to Capcom games, when it comes to Resident Evil. I'm looking forward to it. So what do you guys think when it comes to everything that we talked about here with the Switch 2 and more? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this one here. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, click that notification bell, and check out my other Nintendo Switch 2 RPG content and more right here on screen. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys for the next one. Peace.